Welcome to Sometimes in Shambles. My name is Melissa. This is my podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about body positivity. So I put it on Instagram today, actually, just barely like half an hour ago, what I should talk about for Monday's episode being today, I suppose. And the two that I was like going back and forth between was talking about Instagram, which I'm going to talk about that in the near future, and body positivity. And then like two people voted for body positivity. And so I started writing the outline for that. And then I kind of got really into it and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll record. So yeah, here we are. I just started a 30-day workout and macro counting challenge like 2 days ago, and which would be last week. It's just been on my mind a lot because it's been really hard for me to get back into it. So I'm going to talk about like times that I viewed myself the worst and hated my body, what anxiety and depression has to do with it, binge eating, being happy with yourself, and how I'm feeling right now, and like why I'm doing this challenge and things like that. So let's get into it. Growing up, I was always super skinny. All of my mom's friends, people at church, just a lot of people would call me skinny mini all the time. I never really thought anything of that. I never really viewed my body one way or another. Like I never thought that I was fat. I never thought that I was skinny. I never really had a thought about my body and what I looked like growing up. So in high school, I was about like maybe weighed 140. I played volleyball and I did track and field. So I was very athletic and very active in high school, and so I did have like an athletic body and was in pretty good shape. Something that I do remember is always hating wearing a bathing suit, and like still to this day I hate wearing bathing suits. It's a self-conscious thing, or self-confidence, both. It's just really hard for me, and I don't know why. So I think that's going to come into play probably later, but that's just something to note that, like, yeah, I never thought of my body one way or another, but I also did not like other people seeing my body. So as I mentioned in my first episode, the end of my senior year and the summer before my freshman year of college, I was diagnosed with depression and I lost about 20 pounds. You can go listen to episode 1 for more about that because I'm not going to go into it again. So I was like extremely skinny, like a skeleton. Like it is not good. So then in college, when I finally got on medication and figured all of that out, I put some weight back on and was kind of my normal self again, and I felt like I was just back to how I was in high school. And I still did some sports, some intramural sports. And then sophomore year is when I became more self-conscious and like more aware, I think, of how I looked and my body because I started to date more. And like when I dated, I still don't want to say his name. I'm fine with saying literally everyone else's name. But when I was dating my high school boyfriend, I never had a problem with this. Like I literally never thought about how he viewed my body or how he thought I looked. Like I honestly think that was just because he was, okay, he was a really good boyfriend until all of that shit went down. But I think we just had a really good relationship, and so I was never worried about like how he viewed me physically. So sophomore year, I started to date more, and I was actually like hanging out with more boys and was around more boys and things that go with dating. And so I just became more aware of like what are they thinking right now? Like, am I overweight? What do other girls that they have been with look like? So all that stuff was running through my head and like started to become more prominent in the following years. Not to mention, I always dated skinny guys, which I will get to in a second. And when I say skinny guys, skinnier than me. So 2015 rolls around and a lot was going on in my life at this time. And I've mentioned this, I think, in the first episode also. A guy that I was dating, we had a really bad breakup and I moved home like immediately after it happened. And I went into like a really low depression state where I gained a lot of weight. Like, I don't even know how much weight, but I gained a lot of weight, and I also developed binge eating habits, I think, around this time. Side tangent about binge eating. I love binge eating. I still do it. It's an incredibly hard habit to break, but just eating a bunch of food makes me happy. If I'm like super anxious or stressed out or have a bad day, like all I can think about is just like going home and eating everything I love. Like I literally had that thought today. I was driving home and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not happy right now. And whatever, all this stuff is happening and I'm super stressed this week. I just want to go home and eat this and this and this and this and this. And usually I would literally go home, and even if I'm full, I would still eat more. I just like keep eating, and it doesn't matter if I'm full or not because eating makes me happy. I did not binge eat today. I will let you know. I'm very proud of myself, okay? It's such a hard thing to tell yourself not to because it's so easy to just eat. I think everyone can relate to that, but it's not good. I don't recommend doing it because you'll never be able to break the habit. Just kidding. That is not very positive of me. You can break the habit. Anyway, that's about binge eating. Back to 2015, gained a lot of weight. The end of 2015, beginning of 2016, I started dating Kyle. Kyle was skinnier than me. He was only like a little bit taller than me. And I was always worried about that for some reason. The timeline is off on this. Yeah, the timeline is incredibly off. I was like, I did not date Kyle that soon after my breakup with Taylor. Okay, I think it wasn't 2015, it was 2014. Who cares? Okay. Anyway, started dating Kyle. I guess I gained a lot more weight between the time I moved home, and the time that I dated Kyle. I don't really know. All of those years I always get like really confused about. Anyway, Kyle was really skinny, and for some reason I would always think like if Kyle wanted to pick me up, he probably couldn't. And I don't know why I cared about that at all. Like, when is he ever going to pick me up? I don't know. It's just stupid. Anyway, this is so not important. So that summer, I weighed about 170, which why am I telling you guys my weight? I don't know because it literally doesn't matter. But I said that I was 140 in high school. So 170, like 30 pounds it's a huge difference, you guys, like not even kidding. So 170 was the most that I've ever weighed in my entire life. And it got really bad. I would take baths and I would look at my legs and I would just hate myself so much. I would just like cry in the bath because I hated myself and I thought that I was so fat and didn't know what to do about it. Couldn't get myself to not be fat because I loved eating. I was still sort of dating, but not really dating Kyle, if you know what I mean. And looking back at it, he never had a problem with my weight, but I did. And like, honestly, looking back on it, I am like mortified the way that I looked when I was with Kyle. And I don't know, I don't have thoughts about that, but except that I'm like mortified that I looked like that. But the thing is, Kyle never cared, or he never actually said that he never had a problem with it that I knew about. So I don't know why I had a problem with it. So that same time, I started and stopped like 2 billion. That's the number that I happened to write down. I started and stopped like 2 billion different workout programs, got on Weight Watchers. I got off Weight Watchers. I worked out with a friend. None of it ever stuck. Like I did all of this stuff for like a week at a time, and then I would give up. And then I would start again, and then I would stop. And it wasn't really like going anywhere. I was just going around in circles. And I think that none of it stuck because I just didn't love myself enough to be happy, and like I didn't love myself enough to care. I lived alone in a studio apartment. I almost never left the house unless it was for school. I hardly had any friends, and I just didn't care about a lot of things. Yeah, there's like not much more to it. So then the summer of 2017, I finally had enough of looking like that and feeling like that. And I honestly don't remember like the switch like in my head. I don't know what happened, but I started counting calories. I did the BBG workouts, and I remember telling myself like, okay, I'm going to count calories and go to the gym every day and see if I lose 2 pounds in a week. And then if I lost 2 pounds, I would keep doing it. And I just like made that commitment to myself. And so I did. I committed. I meal prepped everything for 1 week, and I lost 2 pounds. And I was like, okay, I'll just keep doing it. And again, I don't know where the switch came from. I just think I was really sick of it, and I was like ready to change. And I also, that summer, I moved up here to Salt Lake just for the summer to do an internship. I moved in with Shannon. So it was a new environment. I was around all of my friends that lived up here. There was a lot of things to do during the summer. I had a consistent schedule with my internship, and I lived with Shannon. So that, like, all of those things played into it. And that summer, in like maybe 2 months, because I didn't start right away, like right during the summer, right at the beginning of the summer, I lost like 15 to 20 pounds, and I looked good, honestly. Not joking. I went back to school, and people actually noticed and complimented me, and like so many people were like, you look really good. So that kind of just shows that I actually had gained a lot of weight. So that's just like kind of my background to a certain point, all of the important things of like my weight journey. I don't really know where to go from here, but we're just going to get into like how you view yourself. And this is kind of something that I really want to talk about, but I also am very scared that I'm going to get backlash from it, and it's not going to be taken how I want it to be taken. Everyone talks about how you should love yourself, not care about what other people think, and if you're quote unquote fat, then be fat and like be proud of it, which essentially is loving yourself, which, yes, I agree with that. You should love yourself and you shouldn't care what other people think. But I don't think that, I'm going to try to explain this. You shouldn't love yourself because people are telling you to love yourself. I hope that makes sense. I think that you should love yourself. If you love yourself, I don't know how to explain this, but like love yourself and love your body if you're happy with yourself and your body. If you keep thinking that you're overweight or you're too skinny and it makes you uncomfortable and unhappy, self-conscious, you don't have self-confidence, all that stuff, then make a change and commit to the change to where you start to feel comfortable and happy and confident. But you have to love yourself enough to do that, to get to a point where you want to do that. Like the switch that I made when I was very unhappy and overweight, and I made the decision to love myself and to give myself a body that I wanted and that I would be proud of and I would be confident in. So for the record, I am not saying that in order for you to be happy, you have to have the perfect body or you have to work out or whatever. I'm just saying in order to be happy, you have to be happy with yourself. Like, you have to feel confident, and it's not something that you can just like learn how to do. Like, it's like, if you're hungry, you're hungry. Like, you can't help that. Like, if you're not happy with your weight, you're not happy with your weight. Like, there's no, like, you can't just go read a book and all of a sudden love yourself. Like, you have to want to make a change, or you're just fine with how you are and you actually just love how you look and you're okay with it and you're still confident and you're still yourself in the body that you have. I really hope this is making sense, because I feel like it's going to be taken the wrong way. From that summer that I lost like 20 pounds to right now, I probably gained like 10 of those pounds back. And honestly, I still think that I look good. Weight is just really shouldn't be what you look at, but it's what motivates me. So you do whatever, you weigh yourself if you want to weigh yourself. But recently, some things have started to bother me again, like my legs, my chin, and my face are the first place that I notice when I'm starting to gain weight. Other people don't notice it, but I immediately notice when I have gained even the slightest amount of fat on my face. My love handles, when I put on certain pairs of jeans, that's kind of when I know, like, okay, I'm getting a little bit I'm getting a little bit not overweight, but just like gaining a little bit of weight. And those things make me sad. And I get really, really hard on myself when there's just a little bit of fat on my face that I don't like. And I'm like, no, like, I don't want this, whatever. And one thing, trying to think if I should say this, but it's about me. So, one thing that I've kind of self-diagnosed, I suppose, is that I have an irrational fear of becoming very, very, very overweight, because my dad is, and I am like super scared that it's like a hereditary thing. Like, I don't know. My two sisters are so skinny, and like, my sisters are always telling me that they are trying to gain weight, and I'm just like, wow, can't relate to that. And like, losing weight and keeping the weight off is not easy for me. I can eat a cracker and gain 10 pounds. That's what it feels like. And I just have this, going back to my dad, I just have this like irrational fear that if I am not paying attention to every single thing that I'm eating or doing to work out, then I'm going to end up extremely overweight. And that's just like an irrational fear that I have. I honestly don't know if it's true. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, that's not true. And I still think it's true. And I can't even tell myself that it's not true. But aside from that, I really do have to be so careful with myself. And like, if I just let myself go and let myself eat, I gain weight so easily. Anyway, when I am like gaining a little bit of weight on my face, I get really hard on myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm letting myself go again. And I have a fear of like getting back to what I call my quote unquote fat days. I don't know. Whatever. So I decided to do a 30-day challenge to get me back into like eating healthier and working out, because I know that once I get back into it, I'll be happier with how I look and feel, and my confidence will skyrocket. I do want to just make a side note that overweight, fat, skinny, chubby, bony, all of those are arbitrary terms, meaning that it's all personal view on what they mean. And I am going to get into like a lot more of this later, but instead of being fat or skinny, you should just be happy or not happy with your body. Honestly, please bless that makes sense. If you're not happy, then you should strive to make a change to get you on the track to be happy. And don't take that as I'm saying, if you're not happy, then you need to work out. Or like, if you're not happy, then you need to have the perfect body, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're not happy, then change something to be happy. Whether that's happier in this episode, it is happier with your body, but what is it that makes you happy with your body? So if you have self-confidence issues like I do, is it because of your anxiety and your other triggers that you might not know of or you might not notice, and maybe you need to go to therapy to figure that out? Or is it because you're always thinking about your body and how your body looks? So it could just be, there could be other causes to it that's not just social media or whatever telling you that you don't have the perfect body. So like an example of like anxiety being a self-confidence issue, I have a lot of self-confidence issues with my personality and my body. So the differences between those are like, I get anxiety sometimes about like if I'm talking too much or if I'm texting someone too much, like social anxieties kind of, or like, I don't know. Everything I've talked about basically in every episode is self-confidence issues. And then self-confidence issues with your body I've had. Yeah, I'm going to get into that later. Again, I just want to reiterate that I'm not saying that you shouldn't love yourself if you don't have the perfect body. I think you should find out why you don't necessarily love yourself and target that reason. So for me, that reason is gaining weight and not fitting into my clothes. And like that makes me hate myself. I actually just got rid of what I call my fat day clothes, which again, fat is a relative term. Fat is what I thought that I was. Like some people may think of me 2 years ago or 3 years ago as like super, super skinny. But to me, I was fat and I wore clothes 3 times too big for me just to not show how fat I felt. But I just got rid of most of those clothes. They're just like, I literally would put them on and I'd be like, they like drown me now, those clothes. And I'm like, how did I ever wear these? But it was because I felt fat and I didn't have any self-confidence with how I looked. And I'm no expert on any of this, and I'm not trying to offend. I hope I'm not offending anyone. You should love your body and yourself and be happy. And that's the bottom line of this whole episode, is that like, I think you loving your body just correlates to you being happy about your body and you trying to figure out why you're happy or unhappy about it. Like, does binge eating make me happy? Hell freaking yes. But I also know that after I binge eat, I feel horrible because I think about myself gaining weight and the ultimate sadness that gaining weight brings me. So in the moment, yes, I love binge eating and I want to do it so badly. It's like an addiction almost. I feel like it is. Maybe it is. But in the end, I just feel horrible after I eat a bunch of food because in my head, I have this like weird thought that when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to have gained like 5 pounds. There have been times where I have had the thought that I have body dysmorphia, where like, I mean, I think even my younger sister has brought it up before and has said like that I have body dysmorphia, but just like joking a little bit. But I do kind of obsess over my body and how I look and how I feel a lot of the time. Just in ways like I look in the mirror, I obsess over my face fat and my double chin. So I guess that's body dysmorphia, kind of. Did it just get real? I feel like it got pretty real. So moving on, like I've talked about earlier, confidence is another huge thing that makes or breaks my happiness. When I had back in my fat days, I wasn't confident in anything I wore. When I lost 20 pounds, I wanted to buy all of like the sexy clothes, like tight jeans, I don't know, just like tight fitting shirts that I never felt confident in wearing before. So if you feel confident and happy, then you're loving yourself and your body already. When I said I wanted to buy like tight jeans, it just literally, okay, this is the range of clothes. This is how much I gain and lose weight and can fluctuate weight. I own a pair of 10 jeans and a pair of 4 jeans. That's 10, 8, 6, and 4. All of those sizes I have in my drawers. I might not anymore because I just cleaned out my closet a couple weeks ago, but that is how much I fluctuate and how fast I fluctuate weight, where I literally have to have 4 sizes of jeans in my drawer at one time. But also jeans are just made really weird. This is another thing. If I say that I am fat or I need to lose weight and you get mad at me for saying that, like, shut up. Like, just let me call myself what I want to call myself. Like, who are you to tell me that I'm skinny and don't need to lose weight? It's all arbitrary. I think that I need to lose weight, so let me work out. I think there's body shaming both ways. So like I feel like people body shame people that want to work out. And then there's also body shaming people who don't want to work out or whatever. I really loathe when people say, you don't need to lose weight, you're skinny already, or things like that, because now you're making me feel bad for thinking that I'm fat. And like, just let me think it so I can improve myself. Like, my response to people who say, I need to lose weight or go on a diet is, do you want to do that? You should do that if you want to do that. Like, I'm not implying that they look a certain way. I'm just supporting their decision to change and better themselves for them. Like, don't shame me for macro counting or mock me by saying, well, I'll be over here having fun, like eating my pizza. Like, okay, I can eat pizza too if I want. Your life isn't better than mine because you aren't trying to eat healthier right now. I'm very happy that you love yourself right now, but I don't. So I am not going to eat pizza right now because I'm trying to eat healthier and better my body for myself. It is incredibly hard to say everything that I want to say. My brain and my mind is just like a jumbled mess right now because I'm scared that people are going to think that I'm telling them if they're fat, they need to lose weight, because that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if you are unhappy with your body, then change it so you're happy with it. And that can go any way at all. Like, if you aren't happy with your body because you don't have a 6-pack, then work towards getting a 6-pack if you want to. Like, I think you should if you're unhappy because you don't have a 6-pack. Does that make sense? Yes, everyone says. I don't really have a lot more to say. I feel like I do have a lot more to say, but I don't know how to say it. So I think I'm going to end this episode. It feels like it was pretty short. It was. Yep, this is a very short episode. The bottom line is be happy. Okay, you guys, just be happy. And going back to the hating your body and hating yourself, I really don't have advice for that because I've been there. I have hated myself, and then I made a change eventually. And I think I think you just need to focus on your happiness and what makes you happy. And also really focus on your progress. Like if you are trying to lose weight or gain weight and you feel like you're not making progress, but you are actively trying, look back how you were a month ago. Maybe you lost 20 pounds, but that's like hidden. That success is hidden because you want to lose 30 pounds. That actually kind of did happen to me. My goal was to lose like 20 pounds, I think, in that summer. And I think I got to like 17 pounds lost. And I was so hard on myself because I didn't ever lose that last 3 pounds. And I was just like constantly like, oh, like I didn't lose it. I didn't lose it every single week. I was like really angry that I would have gained like 2 pounds rather than lose 2 pounds, and like couldn't get to that 20-pound goal. And it's really easy to do that. It's really easy to focus on you haven't met your goal yet and you're not looking at your progress. Like I should have been like, wow, like I have lost 15 pounds. But instead of looking at that, I was focusing on the 3 pounds that I didn't lose. So just track your progress. I personally love taking pictures, especially when I start a workout program. I will take pictures like every week just to see my progress, and that really helps me. So whatever it is to track your progress, this time around, I'm actually keeping a journal, and I'm going to try to journal at the end of every day, and I'm writing down my macros. I'm writing down like my mood and how I felt, what modifications I made in the workouts, stuff like that, because I know down the line I am going to be able to do the workouts without modifications. I'm probably going to hit all my macros at some point. I'm going to lose a couple pounds. I'm going to gain muscle. All of these things that I can't see happening right now, I'm probably going to do them in the future. So I think it's really important to keep a journal, take pictures, somehow track your progress so you can look back on it and focus on that rather than what you haven't gotten to yet. So that's my advice. Body positivity honestly is just you being happy about yourself and where you're at. And in my opinion, not my professional opinion, if you're not at that stage, then do something to get you moving in that direction. So it could literally be anything. If you really want to start working out, but you can't find the motivation, just do little things. Take the stairs instead of the elevator, or just go on a walk every single day. Just like make little goals to get there, to work towards that end goal of happiness. Okay, this kind of relates to this episode and the Instagram episode, but the night that I wrote down my Instagram episode, I saw a picture of a girl and a boy, and it was like, they were fit. She was like skinny, blonde, which kind of, some people would probably use those words to describe me, but I don't view myself like that. But she was just like, she was a very beautiful is also an arbitrary term, whatever. I thought she was very beautiful, very standard Utah white girl with a very attractive husband or boyfriend. And they were like traveling together or something. And I caught myself thinking that I'm never going to get a boyfriend or get married because I don't look like that girl that was in the picture. And that pissed me off. So I wrote an Instagram episode. I think just when you see things on Instagram, there's things that make you lust over what they have, and then there's things that motivate you. So I follow a lot of girls that have such an athletic body, like they work out probably 10 times a day. And I follow them to motivate me, and they do motivate me. I never look at them and think, I need to look like that. It just motivates me to go to the gym, not to look a certain way. And then there's the accounts that make me feel like I'm never going to get married because I don't look like the people that Instagram is telling me guys like to date. So unfollow those people because thinking like that is trash, and follow people that motivate you. I really need to just wrap this up because I feel like I'm just blabbing on. So I'm going to end this episode. I am so sorry if this wasn't helpful for you. And if it was, then I am very happy because I feel like this episode is trash. But I need an episode for Monday, and this is the episode that you get. So like always, you can email me sometimesinshambles.podcast@gmail.com, or you can Instagram DM me or comment on my picture at sometimesinshambles. That is my Instagram handle. And actually, currently for the month of April, I am doing a giveaway at the end of April, and I am going to custom design 2 t-shirts, and they're going to have a saying on them that's like uplifting or just some saying that I really love. I'm giving a shirt and stickers away to 2 winners. And so how you enter that is, this is just for the month of April 2019. If you're listening to this in 2021, this giveaway is not going on anymore, just FYI. So for the month of April, if you mention me in your story, so go on your Instagram and post a story of my podcast and tag me at Sometimes in Shambles, or if you comment on one of my Sometimes in Shambles pictures that I post in the month of April, all of those will count as an entry. So you can enter quote unquote, enter as many times as you want. If your account is private, I cannot see your mentions. So you can screenshot, if you post about me, you can screenshot it and DM me. But yeah, it's super easy. Like, just post a screenshot of an episode that you like and tag me in it, or just comment on a picture that I post. So that's the giveaway. Yeah. Oh my God. I actually, right before I started this episode, I got a Patreon. If you don't know what Patreon is, I honestly don't even want to advertise it right now, but that's exciting. You can look me up on Patreon, which is kind of like, you can pay $1 or $2 a month to support my podcast. Yep, I'm going into it. And I will give you a shout out on 1 episode a month if you sign up for that. So it's just a way to support me, really. I have a website. I just launched my website, and that domain is sometimesinshambles.podcast.com. And you can listen to my episodes there if you don't know how to listen to a podcast, but you do know how to listen to a podcast because you're listening to it right now. So ignore what I just said. But yeah, I have a website. There's an about me on there. And then there's also a contact form. That's another way that you can reach me. It might be easier than emailing. It might be harder than emailing, whatever. But you can just go on my website and fill out the contact form, and I will get that. So that's exciting. I said that because I was like, there's not really anything that I have to pay for, but I do because I just launched a website. So you can support me on Patreon if you want. I am not forcing you to. You can do whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy is the bottom line. I am such a rambler right now. Okay, I said my socials. I said you can contact me. Please reach out to me if you want to. Like, you're not ever bothering me. I don't care what account you DM me on. People are still DMing me, like, saying, I know I should email you. Like, I don't care how you reach me. You can DM me. It's fine. And you can DM me on any account that you follow me on. Okay, guys, that's all I have to say. I'm really finishing this episode. Love yourself. If you're happy with yourself, love yourself. If you love yourself, you're beautiful, all the positive things. Okay. Goodbye, guys. Have a good day. hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Sometimes in Shambles. The intro music was done by my friend Lucas Cathy, and the artwork was done by me, myself, Melissa. If you liked this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.